IMF agent Ethan Hunt is sent to Sydney to find and destroy a genetically modified disease called Chimera. Chimera is a deadly virus that will bear a grisly death, unless you are given the antidote. The creator of Chimera is murdered and the antidote is stolen by a disavowed IMF agent, Sean Ambrose, Dougray Scott. The Impossible Mission Force, IMF, hire the skilled and charming Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, and the beautiful Nia Hall, Thandie Newton, who has had her share with Ambrose. Their mission, should they choose to accept it, is to send Hall undercover to Ambrose and learn what she can for Hunt to bring down Chimera. But they will have to break into a secure lab by jumping off of buildings and dodging bullets. It's impossible. In Sydney, Australia, a Russian scientist named Nakorovich, Raid Serbedzadjez, is attempting to create the ultimate cure Bellerophon to his supervirus named Chimera. Nakorovich plans to give Chimera to the US government, in order to expose his employer's criminal plans. Nakorovich injects the sample of Chimera into his arm. With 20 hours before Chimera advances to the point Bellerophon won't be able to save him. Nakorovich summons his old friend Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, to escort him to Atlanta. On the plane, Ethan kills Nakorovich before revealing that he is Rouge agent Ambrose Dougray Scott, who skydives out of the plane which crashes into the Rocky Mountains. Ambrose had stolen the Bellerophon from Nakorovich, which he was carrying in his briefcase. Volus William Mapother and Ulrich Dominic Purcell are Ambrose's henchmen. Ethan is located in the mountains as he was on vacation. Michael, Ethan's boss, informs him that Ambrose and his team have gone rogue. While two of his three-man team are of his choice, the last must be Nia Nordefall, Thandie Newton, who is Ambrose's ex-girlfriend. Ethan finds that Nia is a diamond thief and finds her trying to pick a secure lock for a precious necklace. Ethan tries to warn Nia that the lock is protected by a foolproof alarm, but she ignores him. They are surrounded by armed guards. Turns out, Ethan's cover was of the security engineer for his client, and he says that Nia is his associate, who were testing the alarms. Ethan makes Nia return the necklace. Ethan admits that he triggered the alarm, but wants Nia to work with him, which she refuses as she feels humiliated. Later, Ethan chases Nia in his car, and the two engage in high-speed car racing on the mountain. Ethan saves her life when car skids and falls over the cliff edge. Nia has sex with Ethan and agrees to be part of his team. Ethan then meets Mission Commander Swanbeck, Anthony Hopkins. Swanbeck reveals that Nakorovich had sent a video message to Ethan, while Ethan was on vacation. Now Nakorovich is dead. Nakorovich had traveled with Agent Ambrose, who was impersonating Ethan on Swanbeck's orders, as Swanbeck could not find Ethan and Nakorovich asked for him specifically, who has now gone rouge. Ethan's mission is to find this Chimera and recover it. Swanbeck says that Ambrose was in love with Nia and she walked away. He has been wanting her back ever since. Swanbeck says that Nia is their quickest route to Ambrose, whom they cannot locate right now. Nia is not happy to learn that she has been recruited because she was Ambrose's ex-girlfriend. Ethan promises to protect Nia at all costs. He injects Nia with a transponder chip, and her location can only be read by Ethan's computer. The chip is completely untraceable. Ethan arranges for Nia to be arrested and flashes her arrest on all news agencies. Ethan knows that Ambrose will be monitoring the agencies. Ambrose arranges her freedom and gets her to his compound in Sydney. Ambrose's partner Hugh Stamp, Richard Roxburgh, doesn't believe Nia's damsel in distress story. Ambrose is livid and cuts off Hugh's finger. Ethan is tracking Nia with Luther Ving Rames and Aussie helicopter pilot Billy Baird, John Polson. Ethan now knows Ambrose's location but doesn't know if he has Chimera with him and what he plans to do with it. Ethan knows that Nakorovich was a specialist in recombining DNA molecules. In the Greek myth, Bellerophon was a prince who killed Chimera. Chimera was a monster with the head of a lion and the tail of a serpent, who plagued the ancient world. Ethan speculates that Nakorovich created a monster virus and named it Chimera, and the antivirus Ambrose makes a memory card with information on Chimera and wants Hugh to bring it to the racetrack. Ethan finds that Ambrose is negotiating with John McCloy, Brendan Gleeson, the CEO of Biosite, which employed Nakorovich. He sees Ambrose showing the contents of the memory card to McCloy on a camera. Ambrose then puts the memory card in his jacket pocket. At the racetrack, Nia gets Ethan the memory card that has the effects of Chimera on it, by stealing it from Ambrose. Ethan copies the contents of the memory card. The card confirms that exposure to Chimera is fatal after 20 hours. Ambrose notices when Nia places the memory card back into his jacket pocket. McCloy is abducted by the IMF team and doped up on drugs and set up in a fake hospital room. McCloy believes he is infected with Chimera and is visited by Nakorovitch's ghost. Nakorovitch manipulates McCloy into revealing he ordered Chimera to be developed as a bioweapon for profitable military applications, and then bought the services of Ambrose and his team to steal the antivirus back after Nakorovitch's theft and escape. But now Ambrose has become ambitious and is demanding McCloy pay £37 million for the antivirus sample, to which he agreed to. McCloy then passes out due to knockout gas. Ethan deduces that Ambrose does not have the Chimera sample, and this is why he needs McCloy. Ethan now knows that Ambrose thought that Nakorovitch was carrying both virus and antivirus samples in his briefcase, and was unaware that Nakorovitch had the virus in his bloodstream. At the same time, Naya is summoned to a meeting with Ethan, who has briefly broken into the compound to give further instructions. As it turns out, Nakorovitch's ghost was the real Ethan gaining details on Ambrose's plans, while the Ethan at the compound is Ambrose himself, who now knows of Naya's allegiances, especially when Naya tried to come onto him. Ambrose and Stamp plan for Naya to be bait for Ethan. Ethan enters Biosite's lab on the 42nd floor of the Biosite building to destroy that last remaining Chimera samples. Ethan enters the building from the roof of the atrium and infiltrates the lab, where he destroys the incubation chamber and 2 samples in the injection guns. Hunt is attacked by Ambrose before he can eliminate the last sample in the injection gun. Ambrose defeats Ethan by sending Naya to pick up the last injection gun. Naya injects the virus into her body, giving her 20 hours to live. Ethan escapes, as he does not have an escape plan for 2, promising again to save her. Ambrose releases Naya on the streets of Sydney to spread the virus. He himself is located on an island, along with McCloy. Ethan needs the Bellerophon before he can rescue Naya. At the facility, Ambrose's arm twists McCloy to use the £37 million payments to buy Biosite stock options that will skyrocket once the virus spreads, and the company will have the only known cure. Ambrose plans to gain controlling stake in Biosite from the billions he will earn from the stock options when the stock goes through the roof. Ethan plays a trick where he infiltrates the compound and captures Stamp and puts his own mask on Stamp, and Stamp's mask on himself. He drags Stamp as Ethan into the room with Ambrose, as Ambrose tortures Ethan and kills him. The real Ethan in Stamp's mask takes the Bellerophon and escapes. Ambrose identifies Stamp inside Ethan's mask by his cut finger. Ambrose pursues and Ethan kills him. He then finds Naya in the streets of Sydney to inject her with the antidote and save her life.